The military spouse. Okay, we're talking about underrepresentation, right?
Oh,
we're talking
100%.
about protected workers, classes of workers. Well, the military spouse, women in general, right? Women representation is huge across all industries, but military spouse is now 20% or so, plus or minus whatever the current statistic is. Last I heard, it was 20% underrepresented to their civilian counterparts. So the majority of military spouses are women. We're talking like 80, 90%.
So who's this nice lady sitting next to you?
This is my wife, Rebecca.
How are you doing, Miss Rebecca?
Hi, how are you?
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So what are you learning what this fool's doing and how he's doing it, from his whole passion is on recruiting and helping others?
So specifically with what what they're doing with the women that are married to military men, I can speak for my own experience and that alone. I can't. Each person is individual.
No, we have you speak for them all right now. We're gonna bless
But
that. You're official.
I had to
spokeswoman now.
I had to put my career
Ambassador.
I had to put my career on hold.
For the moves
in the corporate world, I had to put my whole life on hold.
Sure.
I tried to go back to my career once we were established in the next place he was sent to, which was San Diego, and then I realized that it was not worth it financially because we had a little boy.
Kids, yeah.
It was just going to cost too much money to have the kid stay in a facility while I worked.
Yeah.
It just didn't. So there was a sacrifice of having to live a very, very limited life.
Interesting.
Because you only have one spouse working and the other one had to take care of the home, which, brought me to other opportunities, but not in the scope of where I could be making good money. I had to work jobs that I could bring my son with. So I started in the fitness industry.
Sure.
That's how it all, I went full time into that. But in that sense, when you go back and your kids are grown and you decide, okay, I'm going to begin a career now, nobody wants to hire you. You have no skills. You've been a mom. You have no skills. You have the best skills that you could have.
Oh, no kidding.
Leading a household.
Project management.
For the corporate world, you have absolutely no skills.
That's garbage, Joe.
And they're like, well, why aren't you working? Or this time, I was raising 3 kids.
So I never realized that. I mean, at Operation Hit, did I cheers with you with your... What are you drinking over there, by the way, lady? What is that?
Tequila.
That's the loudmouth soup. Here.
Clase Azul.
Reposado. You say it with all the... There you go.
Reposado.
Salute. When we were at Operation Hit, which was in San Diego,
Yes.
you were there?
Yes, I was there.
And a good buddy of mine that I went to submarine school with, his name's Tim Kearns, Master Chief Kearns. He was there.
In San Diego.
Yeah, and his wife, Sandy. She's a very direct person, which I really like direct people. And she came up to me and she's like, being a Navy spouse or, being a military spouse is hard, but it's not just because they're deployed all the time and we're on our own. It's for all these other reasons. Yeah. And it revealed for me the first time, I mean, look, being stupid shouldn't be a crime. Like me not being smart should not mean that I'm not a good person. It just means that I have a blind spot and I'm unaware of what you just said. Like even now, like talking about how what we were doing has an impact on the female unit or the spouse that we have because now they're chasing us as we're kind of evolving in our own career and it doesn't allow them to kind of flourish or have a rhythm within their own, right? Because that's what we're doing is building rhythm and just...
Absolutely.
So I didn't realize that, but it is interesting because you are building, I mean, I think you said it once, you're like, look, I am what I am because of my missus, right? Who pushes me and challenged me and all those things.
Appreciate that. It's not all me, but part of it, little part.
But there's a big part, and that's the part I think that we're missing, right? That's the part we're talking about on the why it benefits to get the spouse too, is because the spouse is in many cases, like there's a person on my team, I just hired an HR person. That may not seem like a big deal to you, but when we started as a back pocket operation with a spreadsheet and just literally like 3 of us, no clients, and like an idea, right? We never thought we'd arrive to the point where I need a dedicated HR person because I'm like, now I'm a real company now, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't that seem weird? I've always had HR consultants that managed it, but now I'm like, no, that's the head of HR. Mm-hmm. We all have to be a little bit more careful. And we needed that. We needed that institutional grown up, but in talking with her, now that she's here, she's revealing all kinds of things to us, educating us, like we are children. Like, we are literally peasants. And she's explaining stuff to me. I'm like, listen, don't get mad, but I didn't know about that. And I didn't even think about that either. And I'm like, it's not because we don't care. It's not like we're like, those aren't even human beings. You know, it was like, I just didn't know the trials and tribulations that take place below the waterline when I'm gone, right? So to that end, I don't think that I've ever really viewed that, where when I was talking to him about some changes we'd make from an HR perspective, HR is like, hey, we have this and this and this. And I was like, no, those people are solid. And he goes, you underestimate how massive of an influence a spouse is to people. Like, we could be negotiating, we're good. You go home, and if mama's not happy, then we're going to be negotiating tomorrow again, right? Because there is a big engine under the hood, and that's the big influence, right? And a lot of the strategy that we execute on is sometimes generated or originated from someone else, you know, a strategic partner, a trusted advisor, a partner, right? Mm-hmm. So those are things that we have to find a way to highlight the strength of whatever you helped also create, right? Because none of us had ever arrived where we're at, got here on our own. We did it with it.
I just read the most amazing thing that totally relates to what we're talking about. And it's kind of a joke, but these people go to an alligator farm and they go into this boat, and this guy, I'm serious, I'm totally throwing something out, and I'm not drunk, but I just
am I being punked? Like, what's happening here?
I gotta tell you this. So this couple are there, you know, they're in the alligator farm. The owner of the farm says, I'll give $10 million to whoever, you know, swims to the other side. And nobody responds. There's a lot of silence. And then all of a sudden this guy, you know, jumps in the water.
Naked.
Nothing happens. He swims to the other side, and he's the winner. He, you know, and then he, you know, everybody's celebrating. Then at night he's talking to his wife. He's like, you know, somebody pushed me.
He's like, I had no plans.
Behind every successful man,
there's someone that pushed him.